Hello, friends. Welcome to a wonderful Wednesday. All right, we are starting with the slide that we looked at for Tuesday, where we talked about all of the different words that mean the time of night. We use the word evening, we use the word twilight, dusk, night, and midnight. And yesterday, what you needed to do was take the meanings of all those different times of night and match them up with the right word. So, what we're going to do today, friends, is we're going to take these words and we're going to rewrite a poem that will be posted on our Google Classroom into page 78. We're going to take the poem and rewrite it onto page 78. So let's take a look at some things about poems first. So it says a narrative poem, and I talked to you about this yesterday too. A narrative poem is a poem that tells a story. And it says, today we will write a poem together as a class, and the title will be What the Moon Sees. Using the title as evidence, what do you think this poem will be about? What the moon sees. Well, if I think about it for a second, I think it probably would be about the moon and what it sees. Now remember, does the moon really have eyes? No, it does not have eyes. So the title of our poem is What the Moon Sees is probably going to talk about either the parts of night or what the moon looks down on, right? All right, let's see our poem. So it says a poem model verse, and we're actually going to use this whole model. This is verse 1 to write into page 78 for your assignment today. So let's go back for a second and let's talk about a verse. A verse is either one or two lines of a poem. It's a sentence. A verse is a sentence in a poem, okay? So let's read verse 1 of our poem. And sometimes, yes, as you can see, this has 1, 2, 3 verses. So sometimes if it's a longer poem, a verse could have up to 3, sometimes 4 sentences in it. It's a small part of the poem. So it says, it is evening. The thin silver moon is above the hill. The moon sees delicious dinner on the kitchen table. So that would be one thing the moon sees. And then there's these questions. What does the first line of the verse tell us? It says it is evening. That tells us what time of night it is. Evening is the first part of night because we learned that yesterday. And then it says, what does the second line of the verse tell us? Well, let's go read it. The thin silver moon is above the hill. That tells us what the moon looks like. It uses adjectives, thin and silver and above to tell us what it looks like and where it is. And then the third line, what does the third line of the verse tell us? The moon sees delicious dinner on the kitchen table. Well, it tells us exactly what the moon sees. So, in this poem, whoever made it up, it's basically saying that in the evening, the moon looks thin and silver and is above the hill, and there are people eating a delicious dinner on the kitchen table. So the third line tells us what people are doing down on earth when the moon is looking. So what you're going to do, my friends, and I'll show you the whole poem in a minute, on page 78 in your EL student workbook, you are going to copy over the poem. The whole poem is going to be posted in Google Classroom, and you're going to copy it down just like on here, and you're going to answer each of these questions. So this is verse 2, and what you're going to write in it, and it says it just like that in your workbook, see? It says, what time is it? What does the moon look like? What is the moon doing? What does the moon see? So let's go and let's look at our poem. Here we go. It'll be called Tuesday, What the Moon Sees example poem. So there's the first verse. It is evening. The thin silver moon is above the hill. The moon sees delicious dinner on the kitchen table. And so then you would have to take verse 2. So first you have to write verse 1 in there, in the blanks, okay? And then verse 2 is, it is midnight. The big round moon is high in the sky. The moon sees a curious raccoon looking for food. So what time is it? It is midnight. What does the moon look like? It says it's big and round. Moon is high in the sky. What is the moon doing? The moon, sorry. The moon sees, what does the moon see? It sees a curious raccoon looking for food. So make sure you answer the questions the right way in here. All you have to do is look at this poem and write it in the right spots on your page 78. So we do have our reading groups today. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. What I also want you to do after you copy in your poem on page 78, I want you to go back on page 78 and I want you to circle all of the describing words in the poem. So let's go back so I can give you an example. Remember, a describing word is also called an adjective. So once you write the whole poem in here by using this example on Google Classroom, you're going to go and you're going to circle the words that describe the words that are adjectives in the poem. So let's go to the first verse and I'll help you with it, okay? It says, it is evening, the thin silver moon. Thin and silver, let me get out my drawer. Thin and silver are adjectives because they're describing the moon, okay? Above, I'm not going to circle it all the way because you won't be able to see it, is an adjective because it tells where the moon was. And then in the last sentence, it says, the moon sees delicious dinner. Delicious is an adjective because it describes the dinner, all right? So in this first verse, we have thin, silver, above, and delicious as adjectives that you would circle in your poem. So if you have any questions, like always, please send me a message. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. I hope you enjoy the poem. Tomorrow, we're going to be working on a little verse of our own for a poem, and I hope it'll be so much fun. All right, guys, you have a really great day, and I will see you shortly. Bye.